Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. With great deals on your favorite cars at your local Toyota dealer. Like sporty new Camrys and stylish Corollas. Visit Toyota.com to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
Exploring both interstellar and interpersonal space-time continuums. The Last Show with David Cooper.
Gamers, they get a bad rap for being mean and unwelcoming online, screaming profanity into headsets and rage quitting. But a new study shows these chaotic gaming chats online might actually function like digital community spaces where supportive friendships can form. I am here with someone who's done research in this area. He's an anthropology professor at Doshisha University in Japan. His name is Matthias von Ohmen. Matthias, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
At the commercial break, you mentioned to me that you played a lot of games as part of studying this. Is that why you picked the research area? I'm assuming it isn't.
No, it's definitely related to it. I do enjoy playing games. Grew up in the 90s, so, getting into anthropology, I first was going to do physical games, but ended up returning to the digital field. And so, yeah, I think as an anthropologist, you always have to do the things that the people you study are doing, and playing video games sounded really nice at the time. At this point, I also know that it's a lot of hard work if you actually make that into your profession. But yes. I do still enjoy it. Yes.
Turning what you love into your job is a nightmare. Take it from me. But plus, you get to be gaming and your boss can come in your office and you can say, oh, no, I'm working. Okay, let's get into the study. For those who aren't steeped in sociology jargon, what exactly is a third place? Like, how did we go from cafes and pubs to a Discord server or a server where gamers hang out and socialize?
So third places are spaces where traditionally we could imagine something like a beer garden or a pub where people are able to vent and converse outside of their family and workplace environments, right? So it's the third place, first place being your home or family, second place being work or school, somewhere where achievement and hierarchies are important. And then somewhere outside of those two is the third place. And what we see is that these places are gradually actually disappearing, unfortunately. At the same time, there are digital spaces that, to some degree, can cover some of that, although there is, of course, debates about to what extent these digital spaces are viable.
I was staying at my friend's house a few weeks ago, and he's got I think a 14-year-old son, and the 14-year-old son was on his computer with the headset on playing video games, screaming at his friends, and the dad was like, I don't know about these communities. How does your research show that these communities are actually a good place where people socialize, they get supportive friend kind of interactions, things like this?
Yeah, that's a great example, and I think this is kind of the image, right? This is the image that sticks, right? But there are probably, I'm not sure about your friend, but there's probably also days that your friend's son might be quiet and actually having a very profound conversation with somebody. But we don't, as parents or people surrounding these people that are playing, we don't necessarily see that, right? And so what I did with a former student of mine, Ya Hanashi, we looked into these communities and actually spent a lot of time with them and interviewed the people that were part of it. And found that, yes, initially people would perhaps be a little bit intense about the game and trying to win and trying to get strong teammates to join them. And so the game aspect is definitely central initially. But over time, as people create these communities where they see the same people and they have a fixed team or a fixed community space that is initially, again, about, okay, can you play tank or can you play this role or that role? Or how good are you at this, right? Over time, people in between the matches, right, or On Discord, there's ways to chat about other things outside of the games. We find that people gradually become more invested socially. And so people kept saying things like, well, I initially joined to find people to play Splatoon with. That's the particular game we focused on in this study. But in the end, I just kind of logged in because I wanted to vent and talk about how my day at work was.
I used to do a lot of stand-up comedy, 3, 4, 5 nights a week, and it was the in-between sets, in-between performing, moments after the gigs where I really made friends with the other comedians. I think of that as like a highly social, in-person kind of activity, but it sounds like video game chat spaces online. It's very similar between the match. Hey, tell me about your life. These kind of intimate conversations create that social environment.
For sure. And I do want to emphasize not every game necessarily supports these kinds of communities. What I will say in my own field study, which is Japan, people go out of their way to create communities using tools like Discord to create community features that are not even necessarily in the game itself, right? So Nintendo is known for not necessarily having a lot of communication features. So you're not even able to communicate with somebody you just played with, even if you wanted to. Because it protects against things like stalking, and there's good reasons for that. But at the same
like you
time,
don't want young kids interacting with adults,
right?
and things
Exactly,
like that. Yeah.
like your friend, right? But then when you do have somebody that you like and you meet and you want to play with again, there's not really a way to do that, and so that's why people turn to external tools like Discord, where they can create their own community and say, okay, we want to create a community that's centered around this kind of skill or this kind of purpose. And then what you end up seeing is the creation of more social elements, right? Where people are like, okay, the main purpose was trying to win in this game, but in between games or on Sunday mornings when nobody's really online, I want to share what my latest book was that I read or where I had lunch, and things like that will gradually turn even some of these teenagers towards more social connections that you don't necessarily see if you're just looking at somebody playing a game.
Now, your research took place in Japan. Here in North America, gamers can be negatively stereotyped as socially awkward or loners or something. I assume that some form of that stereotype exists in Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it sounds like your findings challenge that they are fully social spaces.
For sure. And in some ways, it might even be stronger. I think in North America, I think there was a time when we just sort of had to justify studying games seriously as a profession or something that has meaning. But I think we have passed that space now, mostly in North America. Whereas in Japan, some of these stereotypes are a bit more deeply rooted. They're very generational, and so yeah, I think it's definitely a challenge to see what people can do with these kinds of games.
I think the gold standard of a third place is like a place where someone can really just feel like they can be themselves. Do people and players on these Discord servers, do they feel like it's an environment where they don't have to hide themselves, like at work maybe, where they can just kick back, relax, say whatever they want, share personal details, things like that?
For sure. And again, this is something that emerges over time, right? And this is why we're doing ethnography, which is a long-term immersive study, right? We're not just coming in for a week and then checking out, right? We're there for multiple months and see these relationships as they develop. And then over time, initially, people are very hesitant to actually share things about their gender identity, about their workplace, and things like that. But gradually, these almost become expected. And then people will share things like, at work, I'm just wearing a mask. And in Japan, again, this is similar, I think, in the US and North America, but a bit more strongly pronounced in Japan, where there's a script or there's a layer of etiquette, right? And so people feel distant from these roles. They might also have very strict parents that prevent them from going out. And so for these kinds of people and players, these games and these communities on Discord become ways to actually interact with a variety of people, even when they have a very strict family that tells them to keep studying in their room. As long as they have access to a gaming device, they're also able to talk to other people and have a kind of self-care, is what some people describe it as, having some kind of way to vent and talk to people rather than just being evaluated based on what they do and what mask they're wearing.
Well, if these gaming servers can be social lifelines, like you say, for people, I don't know. Maybe we should look at kids on Discord as part of like social infrastructure, not just like loners gaming or whatever. Sounds like parents could have a lot to learn from your research. I appreciate you coming on the show, Matthias. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Matthias von Omen is an anthropology professor at Doshisha University in Japan.
This episode is brought to you by Athletic Brewing Company. No matter how you do game day, on the couch, in the crowd, or manning the snack table, Athletic Brewing fits right in. With a full lineup of non-alcoholic beer styles, you can enjoy bold flavors all game long. No hangovers, no buzz, no subbing out for water in the second half. Stock the fridge for tip-off with a variety of non-alcoholic craft styles available at your local grocery store or online at athleticbrewing.com. Near beer, fit for all times.